what's the other reason why we're not married?
Why are we married? Well, keeping our options open, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
an easy out. Divorce is expensive.
divorce is expensive.
Breaking up is less so. Yeah.
True. I think also like, okay, like seriously, I think finances is money is part of it. Like, I don't want to use the resources that I have right now to invite people to a wedding.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Or like, we found a ring that we think is beautiful and it's expensive.
yeah, it's expensive.
And it's just not a priority. And like I said, kind of going back is that, I really early on, like I think we both sort of felt like there was this deep commitment. And so was that really that important? Is this a priority when we actually have that commitment already? Because I think we've talked about this too. We kind of joke is that when you watch the movies and someone gets proposed to, it's like, oh my God, like I can't believe he asked me to marry me. Like that is just.
I, for real, until like a couple years ago, I thought that that's how it happens.
That you would be surprised.
That I'll be surprised. And now I'm like, no.
There will be no surprise.
there's not going to be any surprise because I've really thought about it. Like we have had like really like hours, of conversation about why we're getting married. Yeah. Why we should wait, and when we should get married. Like it's not gonna be a surprise to me. And when we moved here, a friend invited us to like a surprise proposal,
quote,
in
unquote,
quotes,
yeah.
And she came and she was so surprised, like when he was like.
So it was this big party, and they were like, he rented a room in a restaurant, and so there were a bunch of people, and. So when she walked in and she knew then at that point, like, because that's a tradition here where you have a lot of people around, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, now, and it's this whole like, oh my God, and she's
crying
and everything. It's like she acted so surprised.
And then we went outside and I was like, wow, it was so surprising. She's like, girl, no. I knew he was gonna do it. The question was like, it's been too long. Like, like I knew he was gonna do it. And then when my brother got engaged, I was like, was it a surprise? And he was like, no, it was not a surprise.
No, they actually went and they proposed to each other.
Yeah, and this is like, my host family brother. So it was like, no, it was not a surprise. And I was like, it's actually never a surprise. Like you don't make such a huge commitment of marriage and then let it be a surprise. I don't know. Like, I don't think I would want it to be a surprise, Yeah,
right. Because what would that say about your level of conversation
yeah.
Leading up to it? Or, it's just, it doesn't, it almost, when you think of it, almost goes back to some other time where, like, where there was a status, right? Where a woman had to be married in order to actually be a woman, and a man had to be married in order to become sort of like the king of his little kingdom, his little house. And so therefore it became this thing of, there's all this pressure to do it or whatever. And obviously now, we've been living together for going on 3 years, so as we said before, it's kind of like, as far as Kenyan common law is concerned, we're an old married couple.
But when we decide to get married, we are going to tell you why we've decided to get married, or maybe we're never going to get married.
I think we probably will. I mean, I'd love to get married. I think it'll be great.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see if I behave myself, right?
Yeah.
But, I think one of the things that would be interesting also to hear from our listeners is, what are some of the, the like familial questions around that, or like social pressures around getting married? Like, why is marriage so important? And and
if you're in a committed relationship, like why aren't you guys married? Like,
no, my God. But be careful if you answer that question. You don't want to either really hurt your partner or piss off the family.
Okay. But there are reasons. Like everyone has their own reason as to why they haven't done it. Maybe it's too soon. Whatever reasons. Like I would like to hear.
Or sometimes it's like it's just not right. Sometimes it's not that important. Or sometimes, like I think
sometimes like you're with the wrong person.
Yeah, and you're like, it's really good, but it's not quite good enough to like tie the knot in that.
Who knows? Maybe that's why I haven't.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So good. So yeah. So when are we going to get married? Who knows? Why is marriage important? Who knows? And why aren't we married? Money and options, basically.
All right.
So, and I guess the nice thing is now too is that early on when we were together, we watched that movie Loving, right? And we were like, wow, it was so weird to watch this movie about marriage in an interracial relationship and realize that like it wasn't that long ago. It was like, what was it, 60 years ago or something that 60, 70 years ago? Not even, right? That in some states, Americans...
in South Africa, like in the 90s.
Up into the 90s, interracial couples were illegal here, right? It wasn't until independence. So, 1963, 1964? Yeah. So, like, it's just so weird. And so even we've seen some comments on our, on our channel or on our TikTok, which was like, why are interracial couples, why is this a big deal anymore? And some people are like, this shouldn't be a big deal. And some people are like, what are you guys talking about? But literally, like, my grandparents could not, if my grandparents were an interracial couple, they couldn't have got married. Yeah. And that's really weird. And that's in the US, right? And here, South Africa would have been like, my parents couldn't have gotten married. That's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So before we wrap up, are we going to have children?
Oh my God. Like, cut.
It's marriage.
Cut. This thing is over.
That's how it goes. Like, you get married, then you have children. So maybe...
Well, don't we have to do one then the other, right?
Yeah, so we're going to wrap up, and then the next one, we're going to tell you if we're going to...
No, we're not. I am not getting put on the spot in that way. Though I would say, I think that should we have children,
they would look like more like me.
Yeah, well, which is fine because I absolutely love looking at you. So if I had to look at children as beautiful as you, my life would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already good. My life's good. I get to look at you all day.
Okay. Bye, people. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
All righty. Have a good one.